Hey guys, how is it going? I kind of look like I'm in paradise right now, huh? Look at that. But it's not paradise. This is coronavirus city. So, we have to do these now through video. This is the internal assessment video. The last one I made was like 30 minutes long because I just kind of rambled, but it wouldn't upload to YouTube. So, I'm going to be doing this new one. My goal is to stay under like 10 minutes. So I'm going to quickly go through the requirements for each of the sections, for the IA, the formatting guidelines, and the like, because no matter what, this has to be submitted by Sunday the 22nd. That's like no joke. I cannot accept anything after that, really. And, since you guys are home, there's plenty of time to make the edits. So let's get to it. Oh my god. Hold on. Technology's hard. Why? Okay. Hold on. Okay. Let's get this here. Okay. Nope. Okay. So, let's start with section 1. Now, please go to this website, ibhistoryia.weebly.com. That is going to be so much help to you guys, so you're definitely going to want to make sure you check that out. All right, so this is for section 1. This is evaluation, identification and evaluation of sources, okay? So you're going to find, the breakdown of the key components. Here's the assessment. So this is how you're going to be assessed by me. If you want to get in this top band here, you have to do these following things. So you can see they're kind of similar in these different bands. There's just different word choices there. Here's a checklist you should make sure you do before you feel like you're completely done editing your section 1. Number 1, you have selected an appropriate question which can be dealt with within the 2200 word limit. Most of you guys have done this already, so it's fine. Number 2, you've stated your question clearly. Verbatim is best. Verbatim means like you are literally stating it word for word. You're not implying the question, you're actually saying it. Don't put your question in section 2 or section 3. You can put your question on your cover page, on your title page if you'd like, but you definitely need to post it in your section 1. You're literally being graded on whether you state your question in section 1 or not. Number 3, you have identified and selected appropriate and relevant sources to analyze. Number 4, you have clearly explained the relevance of these two sources to your investigation. Number 5, you have included a detailed analysis and evaluation of two sources with explicit discussion of the value and limitations of two of the sources for the investigation with reference to the O, the P, and the C, O, P, C of the two sources. Here is an example internal assessment we're going to be referencing throughout this video. I got a 22 out of 25, which is really good for IB history, okay? This person's question, and you see they chose to also state it on their cover page. To what extent did World War II lead to women in the United States becoming permanent participants of the labor force? And then they posted a photo here. You do not need to post a photo on your cover page if you do not like to. It's whatever you want. They just chose to do that. However, you see that they also cited the photo here. So if you do choose to do that, make sure you're citing where you got the photo. Okay, here you're going to see history internal assessment 2014 word count. So copy this, put your word count here. Remember, your word count is your section 1, section 2, and section 3. Your works cited does not count. Your appendix does not count. Your title page does not count. It's just your section 1 through 3. That counts for the word count, okay? So make sure it's 2,200 or less. If it goes over 2,200 words, I have to stop grading at that point that it goes over 2,200. Name and candidate number. Do not put your name, okay? Do not put your name. You're putting your candidate number and your session number, and you have to make sure you get these correct, okay? If you do not get these correct, then it's going to cause me so much work. So please just double check, triple check what your candidate and session number are. If you're having trouble locating that information, you should have access to it, but if you do not, let me know. I believe I have access to it. I have to have access to it because I have to double check you're doing it right. Okay, so that's your cover page. Make sure you have your table of contents here. Also, you can find this sample in this website. If you go to here and go to documentation, sample IAs, you'll find the sample IAs with the score that they had listed in the title. That's where this one can be found. So you guys can look at this one as well. You can actually see that's the title of it with score 22. And this one also has moderator comments in here as well. So you can see exactly how they got the grade they got. In section 1, this person got 5 out of 6 marks, okay? So I want you to take a look here for section 1. You can see in highlighted the explicit use of origin, purpose, value right here, purpose, value. So take a look through here, see how they structured it, and you can do, kind of model it after that. Obviously, I'm not asking you to plagiarize, just look at how, a good 5 out of 6 scoring IA in section 1 is how they ended up scoring that amount, and it's a lot due to their structure. So take a look at it there. Okay, so that's section 1. Section 2, the investigation itself. Here you'll find the rubric. You should be familiar with the rubric. It's the same exact rubric that your rough drafts were graded against. Here's the checklist. Number 1, writing is clear. Language must be tight. That means you do not ramble. And coherent, well-reasoned, which means you're giving a well-reasoned paper. That goes without saying. Number 2, you have used logical, tight structure that advances the investigation toward your conclusion. Number 3, you have conducted ongoing critical analysis of the topic and your sources. The investigation is focused on the research question, not a wandering, undisciplined discussion. You're not going off topic. You're sticking with what your paper's about, your question. Number 5, evidence from a range of sources has been used. This requires more than name dropping or the insertion of convenient quotes. You need to critically analyze all sources, demonstrating how they support the argument you are making. You have included varying perspectives, i.e. different schools of historical thought, different time periods, etc. And number 7, your essay is built toward a reasoned and well-argued, well-evidenced conclusion. Okay? Here are our tips on writing a good conclusion. Some of you guys kind of struggled with this. Restating the thesis works, kind of giving an answer. It's like a good wrap-up. The writing will be in past tense and talk about the rest of the essay's contents that has already been discussed, which it should be. Smiley face. You can see an example of how in-text citation should look. Here's an example critical analysis and what it looks like. Okay, so I'll let you read through this on your own, but we're going to find with this example, based off the question, how accurate is Orwell in portraying Stalin's first 5-year plan in Animal Farm? You're going to see that there is a statement made, like a claim. There's an explanation of the claim, and then there's an analysis of the source used for that claim. This person's using a quote and a statement from Animal Farm, and then they are saying how that connects to their point that they're trying to make. And then it gets into the analysis of Orwell himself. That's the author of Animal Farm. So it gets into itself how he is interpreting, how you should interpret the source through Orwell's eyes. It goes into limitations. Basically, in this scenario, Orwell has a limitation because he's admitted he was not able to obtain primary sources of information for his book from the USSR. This impedes his ability to accurately discern between myth and reality in terms of Soviet industrial output. At this point in 2020, we do have that information, but at the time that Orwell wrote this book, it was smack dab in the middle of the Soviet Union, so he was unable to actually get accurate sources, and this was before computers and everything. So anyway, so you can kind of see piece of evidence or claim, evidence, critical analysis of evidence. That is how you get deep into the critical analysis. That is what separates essays from critical analysis and descriptive narrative. If your essay reads like it's a story, it all started with blah, 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 and then this happened, and this happened, you're going to get a low score here because that is not critical analysis. That is simply describing. That is storytelling, and that is not what you're supposed to be doing, okay? So to read this more in depth, because we don't have time in this video, please go to section 2 on this website. kind of read through and look exactly what you're expected to do here. Okay, so that's section 2. In this paper, you could see section 2 starting here. This person got 13 out of 15 marks. So read through here and see, you know, what they got points for, what they did not get points for, and see if you can kind of have it close to that. Structurally, remember, not plagiarizing, but structurally. Okay, so that's that one. Number 3, the reflection. Probably the easiest part, but it's also the easiest to get wrong. You are not reflecting personally on your experience with the IA. It's not a personal reflection. You are reflecting on historical methods. You are reflecting on the challenges faced by you as the historian. Your challenge is finding these sources, interpreting these sources, the benefits you had with your topic and some of the sources that you found. You're not stating whether it was hard or not hard for you because you had all this other stuff going on in your school life. I'm sorry, but no one cares about that. It's your historical reflection, okay? And I'll let you look at this on your own, along with the 4 out of 4 reflection for this IA. As a side note, I might have this uploaded on Schoology, but you can, no matter what, find it in this website here, okay? Documentation, sample IAs. You can look at more there as well. This person got a 4 out of 4, so this is the one you should follow here, okay? You'll see they had an appendix, so if you are someone that has an appendix with tables and graphs or whatever, this is how you should phrase it here as well. The appendix goes first, and then it's the works cited. Okay, look at this. Look at this for works cited. There's a hanging indent, which means all lines after the first and an entry are indented, okay? I know how you can do this. I've talked to you about some of you guys on how to do this. You just like do backspace enter tab with the first line here, and then you just do backspace enter, backspace enter, backspace enter. If that doesn't make sense as I'm talking right now, just Google it, you'll find it. And there's probably other ways that you can do hanging indent as well. You can also do noodle tools as well. I believe noodle tools will automatically do it for you. So kind of experiment. All entries are alphabetized, so that's another thing you guys are struggling with. Everything should be double spaced without like an extra space. You see how it's the same amount of spaces even between sources should look like that. Okay. Okay. That is all I'm going to state. You will see after you watch this video this week, I will have like AMAs, Ask Me Anything, on Schoology, discussion boards, where you can ask any questions that you like, and I will help you out in real time as you guys are structuring this. We are starting a new unit this week as well with Fidel Castro, but the content this week for that will be a little lighter because I want you guys to also focus on this internal assessment. I am also aware of the other school stuff that you have going on. I promise you we will get through this, okay? So if you have any questions, please email me or let me know. More information will be forthcoming. I hope you enjoyed this video. Yeah, that is all I have to say, I think. Now I just have to figure out how to stop this. And we're stopping now. Bye.